in doing the things that she has done, let's face reality. She's going to be attached to Caitlin Clark to some degree. If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship, if that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big. Yes, she's a talent. Yes, she would have made the WNBA. But in terms of her popularity, it really soared after she took down Caitlin Clark. And then Caitlin Clark came back last year and got revenge.
A recent discussion on Stephen A. Smith's show addressed Angel Reese's social media controversy following her New Year's Eve Instagram post. Tori Cooper joined the conversation to explore the backlash and subsequent deletion of Reese's Instagram account. Angel Reese currently prepares for the upcoming Unrivaled Basketball League season starting this month. However, she faced significant criticism after sharing content on her Instagram around New Year's Eve. The video remains available on her TikTok platform, but the negative response prompted her to remove her Instagram presence entirely. This action suggests discomfort with the public reaction she received.
Back last year and got revenge by knocking LSU out in the Elite Eight, if I remember correctly. Caitlin Clark, the reason I bring up Caitlin Clark is because they're attached at the hip with one another, which means they're ultimately going to be compared, Tori. And when you look at Caitlin Clark is balling. She's a rookie of the year. She was one of the finalists for the league MVP honors as a rookie, breaking all types of records. She should have been on Team USA. She didn't choose to play in an unrivaled league.
The commentary noted that if content generates backlash people cannot handle, perhaps avoiding such exposure would prevent provoking negative responses. Despite this criticism, there's appreciation for Angel Reese's contributions to women's basketball. Her participation in the Unrivaled League represents progress, as she's expressed reluctance about overseas play to supplement income. The overseas playing concern stems from experiences like Brittany Griner's situation in Russia, which many viewed as politically motivated detention lasting several months. This highlighted why WNBA players seek international opportunities. The average WNBA salary of approximately $124,000 contrasts sharply with NBA averages exceeding $10 million. The Unrivaled League offers domestic alternatives, potentially doubling WNBA salaries while keeping players stateside.
Her brand building has been incredibly impressive. Now, we could get into the white-black dynamic because inevitably that's inescapable in terms of you being white, and as a result, it's contributing to your marketability more so than an Angel Reese. We could debate that, but what's not debatable is the fact that Caitlin Clark has handled her branding extremely well. Whereas with Angel Reese, sometimes you find yourself
However, discussions inevitably connect Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark due to their collegiate history. Reese's prominence increased significantly after her gesture toward Clark during LSU's victory over Iowa in the national championship. Clark later gained revenge by eliminating LSU in the Elite Eight. This connection creates ongoing comparisons between the two players. Clark's professional trajectory demonstrates exceptional brand management. As Rookie of the Year and MVP finalist, she broke numerous records while maintaining careful public presentation. She declined unrivaled participation, focusing instead on established brand building. The racial dynamics between white and black athletes affect marketability differently, but Clark's branding approach remains nearly flawless regardless.
Reese, sometimes you find yourself scratching your head and wondering what the hell she's doing. Like that photo right there. Listen, I see the way you walk in the game. Just listen. She's a beautiful young lady. And there's a lot of beautiful young ladies in the WNBA. But when you do that, you can't come down the line and complain about being objectified later on. It's not going to work with people. Whether it's right or wrong, it's not going to work. And when you do stuff like that, and you're drawing attention to yourself because of that, that can be problematic.
Reese's social media choices sometimes raise questions about strategic thinking. While she's undeniably talented and beautiful, certain posts can create complications regarding objectification complaints later. When building professional brands, especially with inevitable Clark comparisons, such decisions become problematic. Public figures have rights to personal expression, but audiences equally have rights to form opinions about displayed content. The age factor requires consideration. Reese is 22 years old, an age when many make questionable decisions without worldwide scrutiny. The difference lies in having millions of dollars and spotlight attention while learning publicly. Everyone deserves grace during their learning process, but deleting content suggests recognition of potential problems. However, calling for complete political correctness misses important points. Reese demonstrates intelligence and social media savvy, having used platforms advantageously. She understands imagery and perception creation, making her aware of potential consequences. Her previous interviews about receiving threats and hostile treatment during her LSU career show awareness of public judgment. Young people often believe sharing more personal content increases likability and connection. While audiences want authentic off-court personalities, the strategy should emphasize keeping intimate matters private rather than total transparency. Personal standards vary. Some parents would absolutely forbid such posts from their children, while others accept different approaches. The broader concern involves brand comparison pressures. When constantly measured against someone conducting near-perfect branding, maintaining marketability becomes challenging. Major sponsors like Nike and Adidas evaluate personalities for partnerships, making image management crucial for opportunity access. A parallel example emerged from the co-host's experience. In 2019, during her first anchor position, she posted what she considered a fun, relatable photo, hoping for brand partnerships. Human Resources deemed it suggestive and inappropriate, requiring removal. She wasn't seeking male attention but rather business opportunities, illustrating how social media intentions can be misinterpreted. This experience highlights constant scrutiny in media industries. Supervisors monitor content directly and indirectly, evaluating intentions based on posts. While their judgments may be wrong, those controlling resources establish rules. Different standards exist for women, minorities, and various groups, an unfair reality requiring acknowledgement. Young people struggle to envision long-term consequences of current posts. 40 years from now, today's content might affect future opportunities. Therefore, having proper advisement becomes essential for public figures. Successful celebrities like Beyoncé surrounded themselves with trusted advisors from the beginning, family members and pre-fame connections who understood both personal character and industry demands. Current spotlight recipients should evaluate their advisory circle during controversial moments. Examining who provided guidance becomes crucial. Ultimately, individuals control their reputations through careful decision-making and strategic counsel selection. The discussion concluded with encouragement for Reese to restore her Instagram presence while learning from this experience. Social media pressures affect everyone in public positions, regardless of age or experience level. The key involves balancing authentic self-expression with professional brand management in an industry where perception significantly impacts opportunity access. The situation needs correction, regardless of any potential penalties for speaking out. This frustration has been building, and despite maintaining patience and modesty previously, enough is enough. Taking a step back reveals an important principle. One cannot embrace the antagonist role while simultaneously cracking under pressure when defeats occur. Emotional reactions become contradictory to the chosen persona. When exceptional ability combines with volatile temperament, then faces criticism from sports media's most influential figure, the result becomes devastating. This represents Angel Reese's most damaging period, with Stephen Smith delivering harsh truths about WNBA realities. The discussion transcends racial dynamics, focusing instead on specific individuals due to their pre-professional history and rivalry. The unfolding drama encompasses emotional outbursts, social media controversies, and perhaps the most severe public criticism ever witnessed. The Chicago Sky's struggles extend beyond typical poor performance into complete disaster territory. With a 5-13 record, they rank among the league's worst franchises. Despite impressive individual statistics that supporters celebrate, victories remain elusive as defeats accumulate consistently. Recent performance shows 7 losses in 10 contests, indicating systematic failure rather than temporary struggles. Growing frustration hasn't translated into effective leadership or team unity. Instead, the opposite occurred, creating tension and instability. The explosive moment arrived during competition against Washington, in the closing moments of a tied contest at 77 points each. When elite performers typically excel under pressure, different qualities emerged. Washington's Austin missed both free throw attempts but secured her own rebound to score, giving the Mystics a 79-77 advantage. Following a foul call, both free throws were converted to tie the game again. However, with 30 seconds remaining, another foul led to a team challenge and timeout. Ann Crosby, Chicago's basketball operations executive, approached with strategic information on a clipboard. Professional players typically accept coaching input during crucial moments, seeking any advantage to secure victory. However, the response involved violently striking the clipboard from Crosby's hands, demonstrating unprecedented unprofessional conduct. Rather than immediately apologizing for this inappropriate behavior, the situation escalated through social media. A tweet suggested the officials were causing irritation, while acknowledging Crosby understood the emotional circumstances and prevented apologies, promising improved future behavior. This social media response revealed several concerning elements: continued profanity about the incident, portraying the victim as somehow helpful for refusing apologies, and treating serious misconduct casually with emoji usage. This represented defiance rather than accountability, transforming a private learning opportunity into public immaturity display. This incident wasn't isolated, but represented the latest in recurring behavioral patterns throughout the professional career. Less than 48 hours earlier, an unnecessary tirade against league officials occurred during what should have been routine post-game media availability, including inappropriate language and threats. Stephen F. Smith's response proved devastating, addressing not just the tantrum, but exposing systematic flaws in approach, behavior, and professional basketball philosophy. His message emphasized staying within appropriate boundaries, while delivering criticism forcefully. The commentary extended beyond individual criticism to address broader cultural issues of jealousy and unprofessionalism within the league environment. The assessment suggested continuous auditions for negative teammate recognition had become tiresome. The analysis contrasted this behavior with Caitlin Clark's impact on the sport. Statistical evidence supported arguments about Clark's transformative influence, describing her as a marketing phenomenon and franchise cornerstone. Clark's presence generates 1.178 million viewers compared to 94,000 without her participation, representing a threefold viewership difference that demonstrates the league's dependence on individual star power. The criticism highlighted how players seemed more focused on targeting successful competitors rather than elevating their own performance levels. While Clark faced physical challenges including questionable officiating decisions, her absence due to injury resulted in decreased ticket sales, reduced viewership, and declining merchandise revenue. The fundamental issue involves character and professional representation. Athletes represent their teams, organizations, leagues, and sports through their conduct. The approach comparison showed one player building connections and expanding fan bases, while another created controversy through outbursts and social media complaint. The victim mentality, blaming referees, media coverage, and external factors while avoiding personal responsibility became particularly problematic. The message emphasized adaptation or being left behind as the sport evolves around transformative players like Clark. The clipboard incident symbolized a broader destructive, disrespectful, and counterproductive approach to professional athletics. Until emotional control, respect for colleagues and staff, and focus on winning improve, the pattern of negative publicity will continue. The situation raises questions about appropriate criticism levels and whether responses exceeded reasonable boundaries. The incident demonstrates how individual actions can overshadow team success and league progress, creating unnecessary distractions from athletic achievement and entertainment value for supporters.